study. It's like, I'm so glad everybody's here, and I'm nervous. I wrote down an agenda. Like for 2 weeks, I've been trying to be funnier than usual because my friends say I'm funny, and then I think they're really kind of getting tired of me. They want me out of the group, you know. And it's like, hey, I'm trying to I got problems. I don't need to hear this, goofiness all day. But when I was a kid, I fit in when I was a kid because everybody went the funny girl with them, right? Yeah. But then I get older, it's like, oh, come on, man, she's always happy. And my name is Babe, and I got that when I was a kid, like we all did. We get names, but the reason I got this name, I thought it was my name, and I went to first grade, right? And I come to find out it wasn't my name, and then it was like kind of weird. It was my name's Maureen in real life, right? And so like when I was in first grade, it was just like this, the way the desks are. And it was big nun in the front, and I was so scared anyway to be off the block, right? Because, I was just off the block. It was like another world and stuff, and me and my brothers are going down Broad Street all scared. I don't think anybody walked us or anything. They just said up, about 5 blocks, and there'll be a castle. Because it was Holy Child, that big church. Yeah, it was nice. Like, hey, they were right. There's a castle. And so the nun, she was naming out all the names everywhere. She was like, Johnny Heller, and he raised his hand. She kind of knew where everybody was, it seemed like. She had a little superpower there. She scared me. She was coming closer to me, and she said, Maureen Kelly. And I just sat there, and she got like right up on me like this, and she's like, you should be Maureen Kelly. And I was like, no, sister, I'm Babe Kelly. And she said, and I got a laugh, everybody laughed, and I liked that. So maybe that's where I got it from, right? First day. And I was like, that's funny, right? And she said, you're Maureen Kelly. And I said, yes, sister, whatever you want, right? And I did. I didn't argue at all with her, And then when I got home, I asked my mom about it, almost right away. I couldn't even think of the name she gave me. It was like, Mom, they're calling me Maria or something. What's going on? And she goes, oh, honey, they'll be calling you Maureen. That's what I gave you at birth, a beautiful name. After Maureen O'Hara. And so I was like, how do you spell it? And I didn't have to do nothing with it because I memorized B-A-B-E forever. I was going to be the most intelligent kid, And it was like M-A-U-R-E-N, and it was like 7 letters right away. I'm like, say it again. M-A-U-R-E-E-N. And that was how I got the name Maureen, and I had to spell it. And nobody called me it on the block. It was just the other world that called me it. Every time I left the block, I became Maureen. And so that's, I have things written down here, right? And I'm glad, because I just got nervous, like really bad. And I was like, where's the story going? Oh, I have sound effects. Also, it used to scare me a lot. I don't know, if anybody knows, can relate to this story, and I'm sure you can. But I was young too, and it was at school, Holy Child, the big castle, very pretty but scary for a kid. And I heard rumors in the schoolyard about first grade that the Wolfman was coming around. He was around, and he was in the schoolyard somewhere. And remember Creatures Double Feature? Yeah. Well, they always had the Wolfman, or Frankenstein, or Dracula. There was only 3 back then, or 3 monsters, or the guy in the swamp. He was cool. But so they said the Wolfman was coming around. And I was so scared, I wanted just to take off, But I didn't want to leave my brother behind, because he was about 2nd grade. And we were all standing around, I real cool, try to get to another line, because his sisters were watching, you got to stay in your line. And I said, Joe, we got to get out of here, there's a Wolfman. And he's like, you're crazy, why do you say that? I was like, just follow me, please. I was so serious, I was crying, my chin was going, he's like, get away from me. So I decided to make the break on my own. I couldn't stand the bell rang, and I was I remember looking at my partner, who I should be next to, and the steps down the Broad Street, and I was like, I'm going. I didn't want to, I was so scared. I was frightened. So I go to run for the steps. I'm running for Broad Street. I was free, and then this big nun stood in front of me, right on top of the big steps, and she said, "Where are you going?" And I didn't want to tell her. I was so embarrassed. How do you say that? I knew it was wrong in my head, even though the truth it's true. And I realized, mumbling, I'm like, there's a Wolfman, And she's like, what? What are you saying? And, well, there's a wolf man, wolf man, and he eats, children and stuff like that. And I got to get out of here. And I'm like trying to get around her. And she was like Batman, like she had that, like this. And she said, go back, go back to my room. And I was like, really? I was proud of myself because I usually just stick up like for older people, but I was like, no, you can't make me, right? And but she did make me, and I ran up, and I ran way before her because you feel like the wolf man's right behind you, like he was behind a bush looking at that whole conversation. I say she'll be another too. That she's gonna make her go back, right? So I was like running. Now nobody's in the schoolyard. I'm running and running, and I made it to my room, and that same nun was in my room before me. Yeah, it was like all weird. It was like, oh my gosh, she was just downstairs at the steps, And it was scary. My dad he didn't help none. If you remember Broad Street, we're crossing, and there was this big gate. I think they call it Girls High, on Broad Street. And he said King Kong lived behind there. It was like not like funny, but not funny because he wouldn't cross the street. Like our solution was, well, let's cross the street. And he just tell you the story. He goes, no, he won't hurt us. I don't even hear him. As he's walking by, and he's like, wait a minute, that tree over there really freaking us out. So we used to cry, maybe so, like I had little brothers that cried, I would tell them to cry, tell Daddy to cross the street, because he wasn't listening to the bigger ones, right? And so we crossed the street, and there's these little buildings, like between the parks, and he says the mummy lives in there. And that's what he said. It's like the whole neighborhood, that's all I thought about was like, Dracula, the mummy, and the Wolfman. But, we all know how to kill them, so I felt better about that. Yeah, I knew all their secrets, the stake in the heart and everything. So it's going to go on to Christmas. All of a sudden we're at Christmas. Speaking of Christmas, speaking of Christmas, they were funny when we were kids. Because Mom would say, make a list like a normal household, like you do forever, or for 100 years. And then we make the list, but as we got older, we noticed we don't get anything on the list. So, like, it was like, when you get to be a little bit of a wise guy, like 11 to 12, it's like, why? You don't even get us nothing on it, And she's like, now stop. This year could be different. Right? Like when a ship came in, she kept on saying, well, you never know, a ship might come in. And she still says that to this day. So we used to wait for the ship to come in, and she'd buy me weird crap. Oh my God, Mom and Dad both. They have a wonderful sense of humor. Like, one time I was like 12 or 13, and they gave me, I can't even say the word to this day, a ventriloquist doll, right? I had to get all like, a ventriloquist. I had to move my neck muscles a lot on that. And that was funny because it was a real big box, right? So, of course, everybody's eyeing over that big box, me and my three brothers, and they're like, oh my God, they used to call me Witch, right? Like, just them. And they used to say, oh, look, Witch, yours is the biggest, right? And, well, there was a mystery was in that box. So the next day, of course, like, they're all staring at me. I rip it open, and it's Kelly, the ventriloquist. That doll sits like this, and he's a clown. And I had no interest in that. It was stupid, right? It was like I was 12 or 13. And my mom and dad are laughing their ass off on the side. They're just like, oh my God, like, look at her reaction. And they're like, do it, babe, you can do it. I'm like, too much. They go, pretend like you're talking, pretend like it is talking and stuff. And I did, I went along with it because I was a good kid, I cried upstairs. Like, I would take my doll, it's wonderful. And I'd go upstairs and I'd like, I wanted that electric guitar. And I got that. Yeah, and then Christmases, they were always nice there. You didn't get what you wanted, but it was still nice. I remember I got a bun. My hair was brown, real brown, and it was long. And my mom, or somebody, Santa, must have made a mistake because he brought me a bun that was blonde for my head. I must have got confused with Ann O'Neill down the street. So then Ann, her house was a little more organized, right? And so here, her mom brought her a gift for me. And so she's at the door with this gift, and it was a candle maker inside, a nice candle maker and everything. And so then me and my mom's in the kitchen panicking. Oh my gosh, she got you something. And it's like, look at your gifts. And I gave her the blonde bun. And I trying to keep a straight face, and isn't it nice, you know? Like she already had hair down to her butt. She could have a butt if she wanted, right? So like she could get like a Star Wars or something like that. she was, yeah. So and she couldn't hide her feelings too much, Ann O'Neill. Like she go, thanks. Yeah, thank you. Enjoy your candle maker for hours and hours of entertainment. Which was, you know, it was cool, but it was dangerous. It was burning you and stuff. It was like, I can't believe, like, she gave it to me because, like, I burned all my hands making it. And the bathroom I burnt down. No, we didn't get that far. But I remember my mom gave me $50 once, and to go to 5 and 10 and buy, 10 gifts for $50. That was a good time. Because like you look around and they had stuff you could get like for all your brothers and sisters for under $50. And I got my dad an Eddie Arnold record. And I forgot we didn't have nothing to play it on. Stupid. I didn't realize it till he was ripping it open. And I'm like, oh yeah, it was another step. Then when we finally got one, like we got one of the things go around and around, what's called the stereo thing. We put it like that, and we were all in the disco. And I remember my mom, she never paid attention to our music. Her music was like this opera stuff, you know, like when I'm calling you, right? And that's what we thought she liked. So we were just like in the kitchen one time with "I Will Survive," you know. And like that was like she's like 79. At first I was afraid, I was petrified, you know, everybody's doing. And my mom comes in, so cute. So she's like in her 40s or something, and she goes, "Oh my God, I love the words." And she just like started leaning on the like washer, like listening to it. She goes, "That's my song. Oh my God!" And then she finally like it was the only song that she thought like was modern, you know. That and YMCA, she kind of got a kick out of that one. So, yeah, we like to watch her do that one. Now like this, you know. One time I didn't realize I would like to sing in front of her. I would say, "Mom, listen to this song," and it's a song we all know. But I would have an act for her, and I said, and here it was, you can ring my bell. And in the middle of singing it, I realized what that meant. Yeah, because I thought it was just a tune, you know? You can ring my bell. And it had all the dance moves. And then as I was listening to the words, I was like, oh my God, this is sexual, right? And I'm hoping she don't get it. And I was like, oh, I see. Yeah, I don't know if she ever got it or not, because, yeah, she got away with, like, one time I had 2 hickeys, one on each side of the neck, and I was young, you know, don't judge me, it was, like, so young. I was, like, 12 or 13, I was just figuring out, you know, what everything was and why are they there. I remember my girlfriend was making it on the other side, and we were actually looking at each other, and we're going, you know, and then we go back, and that's where we got the 2. And then, I remember I had to figure out something because, you know, black and blue right here. So the next day, I'll go to my mom before she even wakes up. I'm like, oh my God, Mom, is there something there? Does it hurt? Oh my God, it's burning. And she goes, oh babe, you are all black and blue on each side. I was like, I know it. Oh, I knew it. And I told her that me and my friend got our heads stuck. And you know the 50 cents are $1 machines. If they're black and white, you have 4 of them. And it's stucco. I love that word, stucco, the stucco wall. And then me and Kawana, we couldn't get it out, Mom. And she goes, oh my God, it looks like it's sore, is it? Oh yeah, it is. She goes, well, just put a little powder on it. You know, what can you do? And so I had a little bit of long hair, and I covered it, so I did like you know, because 5th grade, that looks awful. You can judge, man. It fits out. I remember 5th grade, I had the hairiest leg in the world, right? Just one leg. And, you know, that leads us beautifully into the broken leg story. All right, so I'm getting better. All right. Like, I broke my leg in Jersey one time. Me and my brothers, and I had a big sister who's like 12 years older than me, so she drove. And she was out of the house like at 18, so we didn't really know her. She'd come back and forth. I feared her a little. You know, she's scary, the oldest one. So she came to take us 4, you know, take us out to go. We were playing football on her husband's lawn. And so anyway, my brothers and everybody else tackles me, and I break my leg because I thought it was 2-hand touch. And we were like in a field. We were way down there, and the legs swelled up. And I remember them saying, "Oh, that's okay. I had that last week. Right? I know what she's got. She's gonna walk it off and stuff." And then like I was gonna be faint and all dizzy, and looking whiter than I am, right? And then she, then sit me down. I remember they put a cheeseburger in my hand and said, "Maybe she's hungry." And it was the femur bone, and as they're talking, you can see the leg blowing up, right? And so they put the hamburger in my hand, and I fainted, and they go, "Oh, I don't think she's kidding, right?" So they all took me like to the house, which was like a block away. The field was so big. And they put me in this car to go home, you know, back to Philly. And the car was a Pinto, right? Yeah. So me and my three brothers in the back of the Pinto, and my legs bent the whole time. It's the only way it can be, right? And then, oh, I forgot to tell you, we picked up this cat on the way. There was a kitten. There was a little kitten off the sidewalk, free kitten. And my sister, for years of neglect to me, she got me that, you know. She goes, "I haven't talked to her in 7 years. Give me a kitten. Get back on her good list." So it was me and the cat. And you're not going to believe it, but when, when I broke my leg, my cat fell off the couch and broke his leg at the same time. Right? We even got in the Daily News, and I wish I had proof. It was the front page of the Daily News. And the headlines read, "Bad breaks." Yeah, and here I am in the hospital. They snuck the cat in, St. Christopher's Hospital. And they stuck the cat in, and look, a couple reporters, they put the cat on. You can see the cat's cast, and you see me, my cast. And it was on the front page. My mom was so proud. I didn't know. She came in the next day with all these papers in the Daily News about this high, and she's like, "Could you just sign them? I got everybody at work wants one." I put Babe Kelly autographed them, and when I got home, like they pulled up in front of the house, and then like, okay, here comes my dad. He's coming out, and I guess they got a phone call because he's like already looking panicky, like what's going on? And we're like, "Oh, we think she broke her leg." So my dad sees it, and he like has to wrestle me out, and the whole way to the hospital, the leg's bent. Remember, because of the pins out. So when they get to the hospital, they just pushed it down real quick. They told me, they warned me, they said it's gonna hurt, right? And then they did. It hurt like crazy. And I was in that place for 2 months. I loved it because it was like 3 meals a day. And I'm not lying, it was like, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they wheel your whole bed to a playroom, right? The whole bed went with you. But one time I had one stuffed animal I liked. His name was Snoopy, because he was a Snoopy doll, right? He was a Snoopy head, not really original. I had another bear named Teddy. And then, so I remember one day I just covered myself, and everyone in the playroom, I took every stuffed animal, and you could just see my face, and I went to sleep, and when I woke up, everybody was gone, right? Even Snoopy. And I remember like just feeling lost, like and saying, "Please, you don't understand. Snoopy's in that crowd." Like, it was like 20 of them. You gotta find Snoopy. And I felt like he was real, and I kept, like, people would come in, and I grabbed their doctor coat, and I go, "You don't understand! You have to find Snoopy!" And finally, Snoopy came back, and you know his neck was skinny, and it never was sustained. It was always like that. He went out, a perfectly good dog, and he came back, he was all, and he was like, he gave me the creeps, it's like he broke his neck, and he did not survive the trip. But when I got home, when I got home, they put a bed in the living room so I wouldn't be out of the family too long. You know, I could like hang out with them. And so the cast was funny. It was like a body cast up to here. This whole leg was covered, and this half the leg, and a big stick in between. So it was like, you know, really stiff. So I'm laying there, and the cat, remember the cat? Well, he's okay too, and he's there. And so this boy comes in the house that I like. His name was Johnny Barr. If you're here tonight, hello. I'm doing well. The Johnny Barr was so excited he was going to sit on my bed and just say hi to me, you know? He was my brother's friend. And so I felt it coming on the nerves, you know, everybody gets nervous and farts. And more so, right? Bad confession. Anytime I farted. Yeah, all the time confession. That's like, oh. Right. I lied again. and then sure enough, I was hoping it would be a little silent getaway, you know? But it wasn't. It was a nice, like that. Like that. One that if my brothers were there, we would rate it. But since Johnny was there, it was like, and to top it off, here comes the cat. And he's playful, like he's only like what? Like a month old, 2 months old, and he jumps in to try to find a fart right between my legs. You know, and I'm going like this, and I'm like this to him, like Johnny's already on the floor laughing with my brother. Babe farted! Ah! Johnny was sitting on the bed, and she just farted. Then the cat jumped in and was trying to get the fart. And I was like, leave, everybody, leave! Because I couldn't. I was stuck. I like one day they had a big thunderstorm, you know, like boom, boom, thunderstorm. And everybody in my family just took off to the kitchen, right? And I was in the bed. And I remember my dad saying, nobody got bait. And I was like so, almost too scared. Like, you ever get that scared? You can't talk? My brother did that to me a couple times when he was in the closet, like when I came in from the room. I mean, he said he wouldn't do it ever again because I lost my breath and stuff, but he did. And yeah, like that kind of scare where he'd go like that, and I just stood there like this. And he even said, "Oh, you all right? Are you all right?" Oh, just kidding. And starts laughing. And then I would take it out on the other brother, the little one. And Exorcist came out then, you know? And right, it was so easy with the voice and stuff. So I said, Mike, you know, let's go in the basement and have a seance, and, you know, bored, right? And so, of course, you had to bring back the regulars, George and Abraham, like the only ones we could think of. Like, I don't know, it's George Washington. Like, he's so busy. Like, by him. But anyway, I banged my tent, like, so he's sitting over there, and the basement's just a regular basement, creepy. In fact, my dog buried down there. That's another story. So it's even creepier. You got like a little tombstone over there in the corner. So I banged my head on the table, you know, but we used the hand thing. And then when I put my head up, I was like, "Fuck you, fuck!" Like that voice. Get out. And he did. Oh, it was such a bad reaction. He ran. He falling up this hard steps. He falling back down, and I'm like trying to say I'm sorry behind him. Stop. I'm sorry. Because I was supposed to be watching him, you know. And I knew if he headed to Broad Street, it was hit or miss. One time you got hit on Broad Street following me, and I felt bad, you know. Like when you're young, you walk, and I started running, and I knew I could make it. I didn't know he was around, but I heard a car go eep, and like that gut feeling, it's like, well, he could have been behind me. Right? I hope he wasn't, but yeah, sure enough. And he's okay, because we wouldn't be joking about it, but he's okay, you know. I thought I killed him, but and that's a hard feeling. That's awful, you know, when you think you killed your brother like that. Oh my God. But it was over, like we saw him, and like I had to get by, I had to see. And there was his big head, and he was like, "Babe." And he said, "Babe." And I was like, "Oh God, good. I'm going to my friend's house, all right? But stop following me. She doesn't like you." I remember he used to be in love, and I didn't want to admit it, but I think like she was right. He goes anywhere with us. Like I used to have to force him a little bit and like talk him into it. It's like 5-year difference, and I'm like, "Come on, you'll have fun. We'll talk about this, you know." And I'll be like, Jane's there, and Jane had really big boobies. And I kept on thinking, no, Mike don't. Oh, Mike, he's nothing. He's not thinking of that. And then come to find out, he's a booby man. And he was 11. I used to think that for some reason he just like Jane, you know. Jane, you talk to him. He never, like, he wants to go. You tell him you're going, and she'd be like, "Where is he?" Like covering his head. I don't even think you could see over him. She didn't believe in soap, right? That this lady. Well, I shouldn't tell you that. You know, because it's private, but I thought it was a shocker because she had a smelling problem. And so all my brothers knew it, and I knew it, but I'm not going to tell her because I'm her friend, you know? I didn't want, I could handle it for what, we would hang out a little bit, hopefully in the open air, right? Like, let's go out. I used to say that a lot to her. Let's go out. And so when she was in the house, it was a little more confined, and my brothers would say, "She stinks, man. She stinks. You know, like, do something about it, or we will." Right? So I remember telling her, like, trying to talk to her real nice one day, and I was like, Jane, sometimes like you have like a little like, do you still do it? Because I do. I use that band one. Remember the commercial? Trying to like make it a fun activity, doing it, and it can be fun. And she said she's allergic to all that and soap. And I was like, oh, okay. That's all I said. I didn't even argue with it. I was like, okay. So I told my brothers that, and they're like, that's bullshit. But I left it with that. I didn't want to push it, We gotta go back to the book. Okay. Did I tell you about the talent show? No. I did. Okay. Yes, I told my friends at the camp over there, and so it felt like I said it, okay, there was a talent show, and my kids were little, like say I'm in my 20s, and the kids were like, my kids, I got 3. They were like 8 and like 6, and one was in a coach. So we go up to Rising Sun there, there's a talent show, I saw it in the paper or something, and it's right in the middle of the mall. There's some chairs like this, all seated in front of a little stage they made. And so I put my kids in the first row, and I tell them, like, stay there. Mommy's going up there, and don't move, And then it was like a lot of old people, because they were arrested from walking that mini mall. So they popped in the chairs. And then here was like a little beauty pageant going on too, like the little kids, really cute with the big dresses. They were in the front row. So there's my audience, right? I didn't care because I was all pumped up. I made up a song that was going to like change the world, and it's just going to be so catchy, and they're going to hear it at Rising Sun Plaza and say, "Oh my God, somebody get that girl and record that," So there's 4 of us. I get my ticket. And there's 4, and the first lady gave this really sad story, and she was pretty together, and she had a big story about the song and why she's singing it. Right? It was just very sad, and she had music, and I didn't. I had a cappella, right? And the next lady. She was like 40 or 45 years old, and she was a baton twirler, right? She had the outfit on like she was 10. It was red. Yeah, it's sparkly like fish, and a little skirt. And so she's on the stage, and she's got her music going and everything. And at one point, it fell off the stage, right? Then she even went down to the music, that little 3 steps, and she got it, and coming back up the steps, which was pretty impressive. She was still doing it. And then she ended, right? And so then I got up there, and I was so excited just to sing it. I did connect the song I chose, okay, and the audience I had. Yeah, right? Even to this day. Like 25 years later, why did I pick that song? And it was about older folks. And I thought it was like pretty, like them growing old, but it was really like they got depressed. They looked at when I looked at them. The song went a little like this. You want to hear it? Yeah. Okay, the song goes like this a little. It goes, okay, there she sits, all alone, her skin no longer tight. Her hair once long and fluffy, now thin, stringy white. She shakes far too often to have a cup of tea. Someday I'll be like her, like she was once like me. Her head, it goes on and on. It gets worse, right? Her head is filled with memories her body cannot do. Yeah, right. Right. So I look up, and I'm singing, and then I look up, and I can see now the connection, like the song. I guess in the middle of singing it when I looked up, and they were all like just looking, and they're like pulling out a gun. She's right. I was touching. I knew it. I just put my head down. I knew right there. That was the whole mess up. Just like Simon says, song choice. Yeah, it was a bad song choice. And that's why I got 4th. And there was only 4 contestants. But a lot of people, I never tell the end of that story for years. I just said I came in 4th. And everybody's a wise guy, and they go, well, how many is it? So I'm like, I can't lie. I'm like, 4. Right, like, come on, you had to ask that. You couldn't just maybe there's 6, and I was in the middle somewhere. And, okay, and then one time, speaking of writing songs, one time, you'll like this one. Um, I like to write poems, and they used to get in the back of the Daily News. It's called People Paper Poetry, right? And it was fun every day to check it out. Like I would send them in, and like they would like randomly just like maybe I'll get it, and it was like Babe. I didn't even use my last name, Babe, you know, because I was going to be known as a poet. And so I told my mom one day, I was like, and she's so proud of my mom would tell me because she got the newspaper like 7 in the morning, and she would call and she'd go, I think another one's in there. I think like somebody else's Babe. Or somebody else. What's the name next to it, Mom? Babe. I was like, it's me. Told you. That's the name of music. And so one time I said, Mom, I got a Mother's Day poem. Oh my God, Mom, it's gonna make it. Cause I think I spent like a couple of weeks on it, getting it just right. I was gonna make my mom like cry over it, and which is the perfect Mother's Day gift. To shed a tear, and she's crying. Did it? Got her. So okay, so Mom calls me up Mother's Day, and she's like, you know, I know it's in there because she calls me so early about that, and she goes, I go, Mom, it's in, and she's like, yeah, there's something in there of yours, and I was like, what does it say? And she goes, well, it's a weird title. I read it several times. I really can't get it. And I was like, what do you mean? And she goes, well, it's called Wasted Mama. Wasted Mama. And that's when I put in like 2 years before that about this, like, you know, when moms got drug problems, you know? Yeah, like I felt bad for like moms with drug problems and babies. I wrote a nice poem about it. It was called Wasted Mama. And it went a little like this. Wasted mama with a heart of gold. Don't mean a thing if she don't come home. Twisted reasons why you're down and out, but no good reason to shut me out. Oh, I remember. It's a good song too, right? And so I was like laughing. I was like, Mom, I swear that's not the poem I had for you. I have another copy somewhere, and I'm like searching the house for like some shopping. No, Mom, it's real pretty. And she goes, yeah, because I was wondering, like, what really does that mean? Like, you know? And I think she understood. You know, she must, because she never did drugs. Yeah. Sometimes, I don't think, you know, my dad used to say she popped like a volume sometime. Like, you know, like she had a little volume, but I don't know. One time they gave me something to stop fainting in church. And, yeah, I used to always, Wednesday, you know, when the kids go to school and the Holy Child there, you wear a beanie and everything, and Wednesday I used to always pass out every church. And, like people would want to be my partner, you know, because it's an easy out. Whoever's next to me is going to go outside for a little bit and give me air. I'm going to do like this to me and stuff. So they told me to get a brain scan, and it's like, really, it was a really good brain scan. It was like, everywhere was all these like wires and stuff like that, and it was like a room all by myself, you know, like Frankenstein. And they didn't find nothing, right? That's what my dad said. I didn't even get that joke to my dad. Oh my God, he goes, guess what? Ben had a brain scan. She didn't find nothing. I told you that, right? So anyway, I think they gave me a sugar pill, like, you know, just to like ease my brain, my little nutty brain, you know. It's like, here, hon, this will not make you pass out, you know. And I really did just by taking this little thing. I didn't pass out again. I used to think it was because every time I was laughing before I dropped. And I used to think that it's the hide in your laughter when you have to suck it in and your arms just go like this. And then you say to the person next to you, stop, come on, it's just stop, like with the jokes and stuff. And like that's when I get real nervous, like they're looking, they know, they're coming, boom, you know, just fake. But they blamed it on the insect. Hey, and one time, Vincent Price carried me out. Oh my God, there was an usher, he's still there, right? Because I went there like last year, and he told me to move, the ceiling's falling at Holy Child. If I ever get rich, I'm going to fix that place up. Like, fix that, right? Yeah, it needs to fix it. I was like there Sunday and the way back, and then here comes the usher. He looks the same, Vincent Price, right? He's the same guy that carried me out 30 years ago when I fainted. That was scary when he was like, you know, walking. He's walked slow too, like, you know. And I wake up to that like, oh my God. Yeah. Trying to be real nice to him. Maybe he'll like me, the cute little girl. I killed many people today, but I won't kill you. You're so cute. You're lucky. Go tell everyone how lucky you are. That I had you in my arms, but I spared you. I wrote a letter to the Pope. How can I forget that? It was about like 15 years ago. I was homeschool president. I'm really trying to impress. I thought this would be a first. I would be like, because they didn't really want me to be homeschool president. I know they didn't. I felt it, right? And, but like, me and my best friend, who was like our neighbors, we all had the same amount of kids, and we went with the same ages. So she said, "Come on, it'd be fun, right?" And like, so I had I'm not shy, and she was shy, but she was smart. So she was the brain. She was vice president, and I was president, right? And it worked out to be fun because she would think of everything and plan everything, and I would just get behind the podium, you know, and introduce stuff like that. And you know, she would like pull me when I got off track. She'd go, "Stick to the script." Yeah. So we're having a fashion show with the Pope. Yeah, I was like, yeah, he would have enjoyed it too. It's a shame he didn't come. Yeah, take it back. He would have. It really came out good. I would have been proud to show it to the Pope. It was like we went all out at the end. It ended. Could you picture this? Right, 8th, 7th, 6th graders coming out, all these clothes from wherever that mall is down there, and all looking good to this thing of Thriller, and they like do stuff. They were all zombies coming down with their nice clothes on, and then we even got this janitor to come out as the guy that talks to it, the guy that raps, Vincent Price. When he comes out, he goes, "Wrong to save." So it was a good finale, and it was a good show. And the Pope, okay, what did I say in the letter? Like, "Dear Pope," I said, "Hi, you don't know me. I'm from St. Ambrose in Philadelphia, and I said we're having a little trouble. They might close the place, and maybe if you made an appearance, more people would come to our fashion show, right? It would be really filled, and we'll have like lots of food. Just telling him like he's a regular guy, I was hoping that he would see the note and say, you know what? This is what we need. We need me just to go with the people. Yeah, she's Philadelphia area, the first state where everything happened." What? Oh no, right, Pennsylvania, the bigger picture. Feeling's important. Yeah. Yeah. But Philly, I'm proud of Philly. Everything happened in Philly. It's nice. I wonder if we're the only one ghost walking around downtown, That's like the only ghost they say walks around. Like, it was all them guys that wear the socks up to here, and Paul Revere. Is Paul Revere from our place? Philly?
Boston.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I don't think I would mind at all if they paid me good to be Betsy Ross. The lady, or Ben's wife, has been married down there, downtown, because he's a playboy, he might not be married. He used to be married. He had a lot of good ideas, though. I don't think that the one, like, taking a bath in the wind, that's like airing out, he had a little bit of a point, but he invented a lot of stuff. He was before his time, I like him. He was what is it called, a word master. Yeah. And the next one I was going to talk about, I did the letter to, did I tell you he answered me back? He didn't sign it. But the Vatican said, "I'm sorry, he's busy." Yeah, they did. I saved that. I should have had proof here. Pass it around. Be gentle with it. Put it framed down. Right, it's stamped, with his holy seal. Yeah, but he said maybe he said he was busy for a couple years. I was like, I didn't ask all that. I was like, what are you doing in April? The next 2 decades, I'm going to be busy. Save your stamp. I wrote to Jay Leno too, and asked, when he first got on, maybe I could be his sidekick to just laugh at his stuff and everything. I would move the whole family. I would, I would tell Big Daddy, "Honey, quit. I'll probably be making so much money, and I'm just gonna sit there next to him when he says something funny, and get information about his guests and stuff like that." But he wrote back too with a nice letter and a picture of him, but he didn't sign it. He has some people for that. But there's 3 of the things I have framed. When I'm in the Daily News, the Pope telling me no, he can't come, And the other one. What do you think? I was going to talk about Facebook, which is, all new. Like that's the point doing. Like, can I see hands for Candy Crush? There you go, one Candy Crush. Ah, that's it. Yeah. 182. What do you?
Oh, 65. I've been stuck on it for 2 months.
Yep. Same here, 182. And last night, so you could buy it.
Yeah,
Like
you're
some,
just a show off now.
Yeah, did I say that? Did I say that 3 times?
Yeah.
No, sorry.
One more.
Good. I try to get my husband involved in it. Just look at what I'm doing. It's so funny because if I was doing that for a couple hours, I would have to see what he's playing. Like, but he doesn't. He just like passes and he's like, oh, that game again. It's like, if that was me, I would be like, so what do you do? The colors come down and then you're crushing it like that and stuff like that. Now last night I got the one board I'm on, I need 30,000 points, right? So it went to 29.9 last night. Yeah, I'm done with it. Huh?
You could buy extra life.
I know. They ask me every time with that little note. And then 7-Eleven, I think, has it right there. When I go to 7-Eleven, it's like, just stare me in the face, $10, you get past that board. But no, I'll stick in there because it puts me to sleep. Just like a little relaxing. Like one time I got off a board after a month, and I kind of missed it. I kind of missed the other. I was like, I was kind of getting used to that one. And like, how about the statuses, huh? They put those statuses up, and like nobody answers it. You think like you've forgotten. 266 people just forgot you. They think, oh, that was pretty clever. No, it was stupid. I knew I shouldn't have put that status. It's so stupid. You just stare at it. Try to think of a more clever one. Maybe 1 or 2 likes or something like that, And then the profile picture, I just put goofy pictures on the side. Nobody gets a new picture of me, Like once in a while I'll put a kid picture up, like my buck teeth and 2 ponytails. That's not when you're 8. Yeah, it's me when I was 8. You gotta imagine. I seen somebody today, right? Okay, we're shopping in the store, and I swear, just between us. And it bothered me, and I didn't tell you that too a little later. But
Look on your face.
yeah, kind of like a little bit, because the story, like, there's this guy. We were hanging on the tracks one time, and I was like 13, and I fell in love with him on the tracks. I remember that night. He was like real tall, and he had a beard for being a kid. Which I think was okay. He was, because he was, he had a beard. He's like, I like them Amazon, like cavemen looking guys, even back then. And I remember the night was dark up on the tracks, and we made out, right? We walked along the track. We talked about tomorrow, and about like, we're so happy together. And then the next day, I seen him at McDonald's. That was our date. See you tomorrow, when we left and stuff. So we went to McDonald's, and when he came in, I was like a little mean about it. Couldn't see him in the light, and he looked different. He looked like a little bit, like a little different. And then I remember being like, I talked to him, and I got breakfast out of it and everything. But I didn't see him again, and so I think I see him in the thrift store today. Okay, so what's that? 35 years ago, right? And then somebody says his name, because now I'm just thinking it might be him, but his buddy says his name, and I'm like, I know that's the name, right? That's him. It's him. So when I passed him, I said, hi. And he went, hi. And then I stopped like this, and I go, did I grow up with you, right? And he goes, I don't think so. I said, you grow up in Albany? And he goes, Feltonville, close. He goes, well, we don't know each other. That's what he said. And he kept on like that. And I was like, but we do. We kissed, I swear. I feel like Jason going, you don't remember that night by the trash can on the tracks? God, I gave you my soul. God, we had such big plans, and you had to show up at McDonald's looking like not showered and all bristling. Dude. Yeah. But he kind of looked the same, just like gray in his beard. But that's how I knew him. He just had the gray. So he always looked like a man, even when he was 15. And then, let's see, I got the school pictures here. We go back to school, and I was just going to talk about, like, we didn't have much money, and it was cool. It was a way of life, just like rationing and everything. And so we had to save like 8x10 pictures of school pictures, you know, all in grade school. And I'll never forget that picture. It was 7th grade, and that's an awkward year for anybody, boy or girl. And it's like things start growing. It just like looked different. I looked like Mork from Mork and Mindy, and it didn't help me because that was out then. You know, that was hot, that show. So, you know, so you would get it like you know, oh my God, you look like Mork, not just the picture, right? And I never get my dad like looking at all the kids, like the 3 brothers and me. And he's like, oh, and he goes, oh, babe. He goes, oh, that's not your best. That's not your best. You could take a better picture than that. You're better, but yeah. He goes, I hope you don't mind. I'm not gonna get this one. Okay? Look at these guys. We'll get yours next year or something. But this one, you don't like it, right? And I was like, no, I didn't like it. You know, I admit. I didn't like it at all. I had a weird shirt on too, like a collar shirt. And the button like all the way up like this. And so I cried a little bit. I only cried a little bit. Like when I went upstairs, I remember like it might have went through my head just going through the hallway like, it's all right. I don't care. Right? That's why I used to be absent for school pictures. Yeah, they used to say find an outfit for that day because it's uniforms all year, you know, you're good. And then the one picture day, it's like, wear anything